Souls, oh my gosh. Have you been feeling like a complete and utter mess recently? There are so many reasons for that. You are definitely not on your own. And today's live is going to be all about the energies that we are experiencing, why we are experiencing what we're experiencing, how to make the most of it, and how to really anchor in to the idea that this is happening for you, not to you. So, of course, my astrology babes are going to be well aware we've got that lunar eclipse today as well. So those energies are going to be extremely heightened and extremely in our faces. But know that this is not just about, it's not just about the eclipse, guys. This is about literally stepping into an entire new paradigm. We are literally birthing in the new earth within our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies. Like, it is happening through us. It's not happening to us. It is happening through us. Hey, love. So, what I want to get into today is what's happening in your system. Why is it happening? What's it trying to draw you into? And how can you maximize the power of this? How can you really make the most of these energies rather than just trying to get through them? So remember, everything happens for you. It's not happening to you, it's happening for you. So if an energy is heightened, it's trying to guide you back into your power. The core thread that is at the penultimate element of this is where you are still believing that you are powerless, where you are believing that illusion of separation from source, where you are believing that you are unlovable or unworthy in some way. So I'm willing to bet that there is a thread that you have been moving through in the past couple of weeks or months, however long this has been coming up to the surface for you, as we are stepping from this 5D consciousness into 6D consciousness. Our systems are really coming online and showing us our fear frequency really clearly. So that's uncomfortable. It makes us feel like crap, but it's for good reason. It's placing you under pressure so that you actually look within yourself. So your external world is a part of your system, souls. It's not separate from you. Nothing is separate from you. You are one with all that is. You are source energy itself, and you are experiencing this perspective that you are human. But all of your system is trying to guide you back into your internal power. That's where your power to create actually lies. So we can do lots of things in the external world, and those pieces are important, but our actual power to shift our reality exists within our own internal world, our internal frequency. So that's what your system is trying to guide you into. If you've been feeling just really overwhelmed and under pressure and feeling like you just need to put everything down and just go for a lie down, it's your system calling you home. If you've been in pain, it's your system calling you home. If you have been, basically, if you're feeling uncomfortable, your system is calling you home. So there will be a thread. There's a thread moving through for you. So this is at the collective level. We're going through this at a collective level. So it's going to feel extra intense because the collective shift we are moving from is this idea that we are powerless. This idea that we are not the creators of our own reality. The idea that we are somehow separate from source energy. Some of us still believe that it exists, but we still believe that we are not connected to it, that we are separate from it. That's the fifth dimensional frequency, is we believe that source exists, we believe that magic exists, but we don't believe that we are connected to it or that we have the ability to yield that power. We believe that we are powerless to it. But we are making the shift from 5D to 6D, which means that we are anchoring in the truth that we are not powerless, that we are actually powerful beings of creation, and we get to decide what kind of reality we are experiencing. It all depends upon how rooted we are in our own internal power. So, follow the thread of what's been coming up for you in the past few days or few weeks. Particularly in the past few days, because these energies have been really amplifying, and today they'll probably be really amplified as well. Hey Bean. So pay attention to your thoughts, pay attention to the stories that you are telling yourself about where life is hopeless, about where you are unlovable, about where you're unworthy, about where you can't actually shift what you're experiencing in this moment. Pay attention to how you feel. Are you feeling drained? Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling lethargic? Like you just can't be bothered doing anything. Like that real kinds of energy that you've just given up kinds of energy. Are you feeling... The physical elements. Pay attention to what you are feeling in your body physically. Are you in pain? Is your head really kind of scattered or clouded, or have you got that head fog? What is happening in your system? Your system's constantly communicating with you. This is yourself as source. It's not separate from you. It is yourself as source trying to guide you back to your power, trying to guide you back to your internal world. So if you're feeling in pain, your body wants you to stop and get to the source of that pain, to really come home to the body. Utilize that breath work. Utilize presence. Presence is incredibly powerful. Allow yourself to simply sit with your system. If your system is in pain, it's trying to show you that it needs attention. It needs your presence. It needs you to come back home to the body. So just be with your body. Learn to listen to your system. What's it trying to show you? Be aware of the emotions that are coming up. Are you feeling unworthy? Are you feeling unloved? Are you feeling like you're not good enough? Like you're not enough for someone, or even for yourself, or for a job, or for a dream that you are wanting to birth in? What are those emotions linked to? What's the thought processes that come with that? What is the stories that you are telling yourself around that? So if you are in deep amounts of pain, emotional pain, what's that linked to? What's the core thread running through that? What's this version of you that your system is trying to show you that you are believing in? There will be a core thread at the bottom of what your system is trying to show you. It will look like a core wound, a core belief. It might be something from childhood. It might even be something that flashes up as a bit of a past life. It's not about it being a past life issue. It's just your system trying to show you a thread, an energetic thread of something that's important for you to transmute now. So get to the heart of it. So let's say, for example, I am looking in the mirror and I feel really awful. I'm trying to change my system in some way. I'm trying to change my body. I'm trying to change my face. I'm trying to change something. Ultimately, at the core of that, I'm not feeling good enough. I'm not feeling worthy. I'm not feeling like I am enough in the same way, in the way that I am now. Now, to anchor into that, I really need to get into, well, what is that? What am I actually after? There's an internal frequency here that I am actually trying to get back to. It's got nothing to do with my physical form and my physical shape. That is just, it's a representation of an internal frequency. My system is just trying to show me, this is where you don't feel as if you are enough. This is where you are not actually anchoring into love frequency for yourself. This is where you are not coming home to your true essence. So what my system is actually showing me, I don't feel good enough. I don't feel like I am worthy. I don't feel validated in myself. And so what my system is trying to show me is that I need more of that. Not that I need to go and change my system. Ultimately, when we do anchor into this stuff, that's when the changes then occur. But that's a side note and a different principle. We're not getting into that today. So it's not about shaming yourself for wanting to shift or change things or wanting things to be different, but it's about recognizing that there is a thread that your system is trying to guide you home to. So get to the core thread. So let's say, for example, this piece that we've just been talking about, the core thread here, not feeling good enough, not feeling validated, not feeling worthy. So who is the version of me that does feel good enough, that does feel worthy, that does feel loved? This is the version of me that truly, truly and deeply understands that I am source energy in human form. That's literally what I'm here to play with. And so anchoring into that is what is going to really help me to shift these energies, because I am listening to my system. My system is trying to call me back home to that truth. And when I anchor in that truth, I've listened to my system. And so all of that pressure, all of that external contrast, all of that crazy stuff that's moving through me has done its job. And it doesn't need to keep screaming at me because I've listened to it. So how do I anchor that in? How do I actually anchor in this new frequency? How do I listen to my system and actually step into this new version of myself. One step at a time. And it takes time. It takes time, it takes patience, and it takes a whole lot of presence. So the key with this huge shift that we are going through, souls, is allowing yourself to anchor into the present moment and to regulate your nervous system. This is where it all starts. So our systems are constantly in communication with us, and this is going to keep being amplified over the next weeks, months, years, because we are stepping into a new paradigm where we have far more communication with ourselves as source, which means we have far more contrast pieces to play with. Now, this sounds like a scary thing, but when you're rooted in 60 consciousness, you actually realize contrast serves you. It's just a beautiful way for you to dance with yourself as source. It's literally just an invitation for you to move back home to yourself as source. We did a recent channeled video, which you can definitely go and check out. It's on a Patreon page. Message me if you want to access this. It was a really shed a huge ray of light upon the cycle of healing that we move through. And the core truth, souls, that we really need to anchor into for this new paradigm is that you are already whole. And that healing isn't this linear thing that we build on and build on and build on, and one day it's suddenly all done and we're suddenly all healed. You were never broken in the first place. You were never ever broken in the first place. And so actually what being human is about is this cycle. It's this cycle of healing. But what healing actually is remembering that we were never broken in the first place. And so what our systems are actually calling us into as we step into 60 consciousness, that cycle of healing is going to be speeding up, which means we're going to be seeing a whole lot more contrast in the world. There's going to be a lot more madness happening. And our systems are also going to be really amplified. We are going to be experiencing more density in our system, more contrast in our system. But this isn't a bad thing. It's actually a really good thing, because it's just showing you really quickly where you are believing the illusion of separation from source. It's simply showing you where you are holding yourself out of your power, where you are believing that you are not already whole, so that you can journey back to the truth that you are whole and be reunited with yourself as source. And the more cycles that we go through, the deeper the level of reunion with ourselves as source that actually occurs. So at first, it's going to feel really scary. It's going to feel really overwhelming. That's why so many of us are going through these constant cycles of death, rebirth, death, rebirth, death, rebirth. This isn't going to let up anytime soon. But we are going to learn how to manage it, because it's our system really showing us that we are already whole. Like one infinity created born from the sun. Yeah, we are literally pure consciousness. That's what we are. And all our system is trying to show us is that exact truth. It's trying to make us so uncomfortable that we stop just operating at this default level. We stop just existing in life. It's trying to make us so uncomfortable that we actually learn to listen to what is happening in our system, so that we will actually go within and find our power again. And as somebody that's walking this journey, souls, what is on the other side of this is so magical. It is so amazing. We are literally riding this creator consciousness edge where we are constantly dancing with our human piece, dancing with the contrast piece. Rather than being at war with it, we really learn to harness the power of it rather than fighting it or resisting it. You are literally fighting yourself as source when you do that. You are literally holding yourself away from the key pieces that are going to show you your magic. Your system is always working for you, souls. Always. Especially when it feels intensely uncomfortable. And the key is to drop into surrender, really anchor into that truth. this is happening for me, not to me. It's happening for me, not to me. So what is it trying to show me? Where do I still believe that I am powerless? Where do I still believe that I am not lovable? Where do I still believe that there is scarcity and lack in this world, and that I am not an abundant creator that can create everything I could possibly dream of? Where am I still holding myself out of allowing myself to express my highest truth? Where am I not protecting my own heart and I'm giving so much energy to protecting other people, but I'm not allowing myself to shine? Where am I holding myself out of my own light? Where am I dimming my own light for fear of impacting others? Basically, where am I believing that to be my fullest self doesn't serve the whole in some way? Remember, everything is one, souls. Literally every single piece that you interact with on this planet is source energy. And off this planet, if you're tapped into fifth dimensional frequencies or you're playing with your multidimensional self, that is all source frequency as well, including the dark bits, by the way. So those of you that are being really fearful of opening up your channel because you're scared of dark entities, you are still just not yet rooted really deeply into that truth. The dark energies are simply just a reflection of fear frequency at different levels. That's all it is, but it is still source energy, and it is still just contrast coming in to dance with different perspectives and to dance with this idea that we are separate from ourselves as source. That is exactly what we come here to experience. And it's going to be there at all levels, but when you really, really anchor in to the embodied truth of oneness, that all is one, all is love. Literally got no words to describe the magic of it. And we are being completely enveloped in this now. So if you are feeling really shaken up and you are feeling like, oh my God, when is this going to let up? Souls, it will let up when you learn to listen to your system. When you really allow yourself to be with the power of all that you are. And remember, there is always going to be your human self, that human perspective, that is always going to be trying to pull you out of the perspective that you are source energy, because they are dancing with each other. And if you didn't have your human self, then you wouldn't have this wondrous journey of reconnecting to yourself as source, because you would just be source. So each and every part of you is always in service to each and every other part of you, including those of you out there in the external world. Those people out there in the external world doing things that we don't approve of, that are doing things that are very, very contrasty, that are very, very not okay. Remember, you are not powerless to those people. They are all a part of source. They are all serving different pieces. Some beings come to serve as contrast. We are still all interconnected, and it is actually of huge service to us. These are the frequencies we need to be anchoring into. Knowing that we are sovereign beings of creation, and that we come here to play in this playground. That is literally what the 3D is all about. Playing in the playground, pretending that we're not source energy, so that we can really, really rediscover who we are as source energy. So I hope that was helpful. Please message me if you are struggling with this stuff and you just need a bit of an ear for support. If you are wanting to learn more about these things, then you can come and definitely do a one-to-one with me and the Galila Collective. You can find out about that on our website. We also do multi-dimensional healing sessions. These are 90 minutes of just pure magic, where we just help you to get to the core root of what's coming up for you, so you can really anchor into why your powerlessness frequency is coming up, what particular flavor it's coming up with, and really help yourself to just root back into that source frequency and really practice that present moment mastery piece that's going to anchor you in to these higher frequencies, that's going to help you to learn to navigate what is happening in your system. And of course, if you are really, really, really wanting to dive in at the complete next level, complete life-changing transformation that's really going to teach you how to utilize your system in the most magical way, then we've got a 5-month deep dive soul journey into 6D manifestation, which is ultimately going to show you you are source energy, how to work with certain frameworks, alchemy tools and pieces that's going to really help you step into that next level version of you and anchor in that life of abundance that you know you're destined for. So sending you all oodles and oodles of love. I hope this was helpful. Please pop your comments below. Let me know how you've been experiencing these energies and whether this message was helpful. I would love to hear from you. I'm sending you loads and loads of love. Have a wonderful day, an incredible weekend, and a comfortable eclipse. See you later, souls.